Welcome to Bratislava, a city that often gets overshadowed by its flashier neighbors like Vienna, Prague or Budapest. But trust me, this underrated gem in Central Europe has charm, history and beauty. And the best part is that unlike the cities I just mentioned, it's not overrun by tourists, at least not yet. Join me on an exploration of this gorgeous city that definitely deserves more attention. And maybe I'll convince you to pay it a visit too. We start our exploration in the heart of the Slovakian capital, the Old Town. More precisely, the Old Town Square, surrounded by historic buildings and the Old Town Hall. From here, you can wander into a maze of colorful buildings, narrow cobblestone streets, cozy little cafes tucked away in quiet corners. The buildings are often painted in soft pastel tones, and the whole area has a laid-back, slightly whimsical vibe. As I walked around, I was really surprised how the city is nearly as popular as its neighboring capitals. Because regardless of whether you're interested in the architecture, the food culture or art scene, Bratislava has something for everyone. And the best part? It's one of the most walkable cities in Europe, which makes it incredibly fun to explore. Some gorgeous buildings might just be around the next corner. You'll probably stumble across a few weird statues too. Bratislava has a quirky sense of humor. The most famous one is Kummel, a little guy popping out of a manhole. Legend has it that rubbing his head brings good luck. I think 2 full days in the city is more than enough to see the main sights and soak up the atmosphere. But if you've got more time, you can easily rent a car or use public transport to check out some of Slovakia's amazing nature. The country is full of castles, forests and mountains that aren't far from the city. Here in Bratislava's Old Town, I really enjoy the peacefulness of it all. Nobody seemed rushed or stressed out. Locals and tourists alike just seem to enjoy their days. Bratislava is a very green city, and in no place in the center is this more present than in its square, whose name I wouldn't even pretend to know how to pronounce. My best guess is Hviezdoslav Square, and it's as beautiful as its name. The square is named after one of the most influential Slovak poets, whose impact on the culture and language were incredibly important to today's society. It's a quiet pedestrian zone full of large trees and benches, perfect to sit, watch people walk by, and enjoy ice cream from one of the many gelaterias nearby. But even if you're not into ice cream, you can easily check out one of the many cafes or restaurants along the promenade. You can often witness a street performance as classical music plays a huge role in Bratislava. At one end of the square, you've got the Slovak National Theatre, which is the oldest professional theatre in the country and simply a gorgeous building by day and night. Right in the Old Town we find Michael's Gate, which is one of the oldest buildings in the city. Back in medieval times, the Old Town was surrounded by heavily guarded walls. The only way to enter the city was through one of the 4 gates, one gate towards the north, east, south and west respectively. Michael's Gate to the north is the only one of these 4 that still exists today. You can enter the tower by buying a ticket at the pharmacy around the corner and make your way to the top. The tower houses a section of the Bratislava City Museum and a viewing terrace on the 6th floor, from where you get an amazing view of the roofs and streets of the Old Town, as well as the castle in the distance. A few minutes walk from the Old Town is Modrý Kostol, also known as a Blue Church. Its unique design and color make it a must-visit in Bratislava, but be aware that its opening hours are quite limited. Across the Danube from the Old Town stands one of Bratislava's most unique landmarks, the UFO Tower. Built in 1972, it looks exactly like its name suggests, a flying saucer balanced on top of a bridge. It's a bit of retro-futuristic weirdness that somehow works, although I wouldn't fight you if you said it didn't. We're going to visit this tower as well. It has an observation deck right at the top, and the views from up there are hands down the best in the city. To get there, we cross the bridge on foot. It's a short but scenic walk on the river. We find the entrance at the base of the tower, and tickets are sold right there. A high-speed elevator takes you up in under a minute, and from there just a few more steps to the top. Once you're outside, it's all glass and open air. The view is incredible. Get a full panorama of Bratislava, the red rooftops of the Old Town, the winding Danube, and all the green spaces that surround the city. On a clear day, you can even see into Austria. The tower also has a restaurant and a bar, if you want to enjoy the views in a more relaxing setting. At nightfall, I didn't just want to sit in my room watching Netflix. One of my favorite things to do in these medieval European cities is to walk around, no map, no plan, and soak in the atmosphere at night. And Bratislava is absolutely stunning at night. Street lamps light up the cobblestones, the castle is shining from above, and a city that's already very relaxed during the day became so peaceful and magical once the sun set. To round out a visit to Bratislava, let's visit the most famous site for tourists. We have been seeing it throughout our journey, towering on a hill just outside the Old Town, the castle. It is quite the steep climb up the hill, but it's not far and absolutely worth it. Because from the top you get these absolutely amazing views of the Danube River, the Old Town and St. Martin's Cathedral. The castle dates back to the 9th century, but the fortifications in this location go back even further than that, because of the strategic location overlooking the Danube and the area beyond. The castle that we can visit today, however, is not nearly as old. Throughout much of the last few centuries it has been in ruins, but renovation works have brought it back to life with its white walls and iconic red roof. It used to be the seat of royalty, but today it's home to the Slovakian National History Museum that tells the story of Bratislava from the Middle Ages to present day, and is worth visiting even if you're not a huge fan of history. After the museum, don't forget to also visit the large Baroque garden on the other side of the castle to enjoy some quiet moments surrounded by the well-maintained garden. That concludes our trip to this gorgeous city. 2 other cities in the region that I mentioned earlier are Budapest and Prague. If you're curious, you can check out my guides in these 2 cities. See you next time.